Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator and my very first VR flight in just over 1 month. That is because I've been touring Norway on a motorcycle and covering about 5,000 miles and having an absolute blast. And I may even post that video in the near future. But anyway, you might notice that I'm using an app called Sky for Sim. That is because I'm tracking my very same ferry route from Harwich to the Hook of Holland, and I even saw the Stena Line ferry in the scenery. Just amazing. And that brings me very nicely to the fact that I was absolutely blown away all over again once I was back in VR, because, you know, having not been in VR for over a month, that's unusual for me, to be honest, and I was wondering how I'd feel about the whole thing. I even wondered whether my eyes would start hurting, you know, quicker, or whether I just didn't feel very comfortable. But as soon as I put on my most favourite headset of all time, which is the VARJO AERO, and embarked on this flight, which was only supposed to be about half an hour, I ended up being the whole afternoon. I've also got some pretty decent settings now, which I'll go over after a little message from our sponsor. VR Wave are a tailor-made prescription lens insert provider that correct for nearsightedness, farsightedness, and any astigmatism you may have. But more crucially than that, regardless of whether you wear glasses or not, they protect your VR lenses. They also provide a blue light filter option and anti-glare protection. Now, I definitely would recommend this. I have no idea why, because I'm not a scientist, but I do know that when I have late night VR sessions, that I can sleep no problem at night. I used to have an issue with that, not anymore since using blue light filters. I am a huge fan of them, and that is why they are sponsoring this channel. With that being said, I think Sim Update 10 is really showing its stuff now, and particularly I really enjoy using DLSS with the Aero at 39 pixels per degree, which you're seeing here. At that sort of level, it's fairly close to TAA mode with 35 pixels per degree. It's still not quite as sharp, and that's mainly due to the HTML code that needs to be updated for some of the avionics screens like the G1000 and the GNS 750, that sort of thing. But actually outside, when you're looking at the terrain, which at the moment is very cloudy and very rainy, in fact we're just going through a rain shower here as we approach Rotterdam, you know, it absolutely is so smooth. So that's what I'm thinking, and for Riva G2 owners, it's the same thing really. Try super sampling the headset outside of the sim, perhaps with the OpenXR toolkit, and then using DLSS. I find that works really well. So as we're clear to land at Rotterdam Airport, I have to say, folks, that I'm in love with VR more now than ever before. In fact, that little break made me realise how lucky we are to be able to experience this kind of level of detail. It was incredible, and in fact, this is my second flight. I'm basically completely recreating my entire trip, all within VR. And you know, it gives you really that sense of being there and that presence that I've talked about in many of my videos. I would highly recommend that you do have a play with DLSS, and it's one of those things that you're either going to love it or hate it. But for me, for VFR touring, where I, you know, really want that high frame rate, I do find that's where it is key, because the cockpit gauges do definitely suffer. I'm hoping Asobo are going to, you know, look into the HTML code to update it so that it is going to be a lot clearer. But I think overall, I'm still pretty happy with what they've done here. Yeah, it's quite a gusty landing, this one, and I do definitely firmly put her on the deck. This is the Msfs Cessna 310, by the way, which is, in my view, the best general aviation aircraft we've got to date. I've got a feeling that's going to be knocked off its prime spot soon though, with a few exciting add-ons which I'm looking forward to showing on the channel. But please do let me know in the comments, what is it about VR that you love? What settings are you using for DLSS? And are you excited for Sim Update 10? I'll leave you with a few more shots of this beautiful aircraft. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like subscribing, 72% of the people who watch my videos are not actually subscribed. Please do share the love, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.